Hello, and welcome to our channel. Are you ready to learn English while listening to the amazing stories of the world's most interesting people? If you want to get more videos like this one, please subscribe to our channel right now. Practicing English every day is the key to fluency, and we are here to help you. So click that subscribe button. What do you see when you look at your computer? A screen, a keyboard, a mouse? But how does it work? Today, almost every computer in the world uses something that one man helped create. His name is Bill Gates. He was a nerdy teenager who loved computers. He dropped out of one of the best universities in the world to start a company with his friend. That company, Microsoft, made him the richest man in the world for many years. But his story is not just about money. It's a story of big ideas, tough business, and a new mission to solve the world's biggest problems. Is he a genius who made our lives better? Or a ruthless businessman who killed the competition? This is the story of Bill Gates. William Henry Gates III was born in Seattle, Washington on October 28, 1955. He had an older sister, Christian Ann, and a younger sister, Libby. His father was a successful lawyer, and his mother was a respected business executive and community volunteer. Bill grew up in an upper-middle-class family, where competition and intelligence were very important. As a child, he loved to read. He read the entire World Book Encyclopedia from beginning to end. He was so smart that his parents and teachers didn't always know what to do with him. His parents worried that he was bored and a bit of a loner. He was small for his age and was sometimes bullied. In his recent memoir, Source Code, Gates talks about this time. He says he was awkward and had trouble with social cues. He writes that if he were a kid today, he would probably be diagnosed with autism. His parents took him to a therapist, but Bill just told the therapist he was in a battle of wills with his parents. When he was 13, they sent him to a private school called Lakeside. This school changed his life. Lakeside had a computer. In the 1960s, this was very rare. Bill was fascinated. He and his friends, including a boy named Paul Allen, who was 2 years older, spent all their free time in the computer room. Bill wrote his first computer program at Lakeside, a game of tic-tac-toe. He even hacked the school's computer to get more computer time for himself and his friends. He also used the school's computer to create a class scheduling program. He secretly added code that put him in classes with more girls. At just 15 years old, he and Paul Allen started their first business. They created a computer program called TrafoData to analyze traffic patterns in Seattle. They made $20,000. Bill Gates was not just a computer nerd. He was already a businessman. After Lakeside, Bill got an almost perfect score on his SATs, the big college entrance exam. He went to Harvard University, one of the best universities in the world. His parents hoped he would become a lawyer, like his father. But Bill's passion was still computers. He spent most of his time in the computer lab, not in his classes. He was famous for never studying and then cramming for exams at the last minute and still getting good grades. He also loved to play poker and sometimes stayed up all night playing. In December 1974, everything changed. Paul Allen, who had also dropped out of college, showed Bill a magazine. The magazine had an article about a new computer called the Altair 8800. It was one of the first personal computers. They realized this was the beginning of a revolution. They believed that computers would soon be in every home and on every desk, and every computer would need software.
They called the company that made the Altair MITS and told them they were writing a software program for it. This was not exactly true. They didn't even have an Altair computer, but the company was interested. So, for the next 2 months, Bill and Paul worked day and night in the Harvard computer lab writing the code. Paul Allen flew to the company's office to show them the program. It worked perfectly. In 1975, Bill Gates made a big decision. He dropped out of Harvard to start a company with Paul Allen. They called it Microsoft, for microcomputer software. A year later, they dropped the hyphen. Microsoft's first years were not easy. They sold their software, but many people copied it for free. Bill Gates was angry. He wrote an open letter to computer hobbyists, saying that stealing software would stop people from writing good software. This was a controversial idea at the time, but it showed how serious he was about the business of software. In 1980, Microsoft got its big break. IBM, the biggest computer company in the world, was building its own personal computer, the IBM PC. They needed an operating system for it. An operating system is the main software that manages the computer. IBM asked Microsoft for help. Microsoft didn't have an operating system, so they bought one from another company for $50,000. They called it MS-DOS, which stands for Microsoft Disk Operating System. But here is the brilliant part. Microsoft did not sell MS-DOS to IBM. Instead, they licensed it. This means IBM paid Microsoft a fee for every computer they sold with MS-DOS, and Microsoft kept the right to license MS-DOS to other computer companies. This was one of the best business deals in history. Soon, many other companies were making IBM-compatible computers, and they all needed MS-DOS. Microsoft was on its way to becoming a giant. But MS-DOS was not easy to use. You had to type commands. Bill Gates saw the future. He saw the graphical user interface, or GUI, that Apple was using on its Macintosh computer, with icons and a mouse. In 1985, Microsoft released its own GUI operating system, Windows. The first versions were not very good, but Microsoft kept improving it. With the release of Windows 3.0 in 1990 and then Windows 95, Microsoft dominated the world of personal computing. The launch of Windows 95 was a huge event, with a massive marketing campaign using the Rolling Stones song "Start Me Up." Their vision of a computer on every desk and in every home running Microsoft software was becoming a reality. By the 1990s, Bill Gates was the richest man in the world, and Microsoft was one of the most powerful companies. But with great power came great controversy. Many people saw Microsoft as a monopoly. A monopoly is a company that has complete control over an industry and can stop other companies from competing. Critics said Microsoft used its power unfairly. For example, when a new company called Netscape created a popular web browser, Microsoft created its own browser, Internet Explorer, and included it for free with Windows. This made it almost impossible for Netscape to compete. This strategy was called embrace, extend, and extinguish. First, Microsoft would embrace a new technology. Then they would extend it with their own special features. Finally, they would use their market power to extinguish the competition. In 1998, the United States government sued Microsoft for being an illegal monopoly. This was a huge legal battle. Bill Gates was seen as an aggressive and difficult witness in court. In the end, Microsoft was found guilty of anti-competitive behavior, But the company was not broken up. This period showed a different side of Bill Gates. To his supporters, he was a brilliant and competitive leader who built a great company. To his critics, he was a ruthless monopolist who would do anything to win. He was not the friendly nerd anymore. He was a tough and sometimes feared business titan. In 2000, at the height of his success, Bill Gates did something surprising. He stepped down as CEO of Microsoft. He wanted to start a new chapter in his life. With his then-wife, Melinda, he started the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. He wanted to use his great wealth to solve the world's biggest problems. He said it was not fair that he had so much money when so many people had so little. The Gates Foundation is one of the largest private foundations in the world. It has spent billions of dollars on global health. It works to fight diseases like malaria, polio, and HIV/AIDS. It helps to develop new vaccines and deliver them to poor countries. For example, the foundation has been a leader in the global effort to eradicate polio. Thanks to their work and the work of many others, polio is now almost gone from the world. The foundation also works to reduce poverty and improve education. Bill Gates started a second act in his life. He was no longer just a businessman. He was now a full-time philanthropist. He reads dozens of books every year on topics like climate change, disease, and energy. He travels the world to see the problems firsthand. He believes that technology and innovation can solve humanity's biggest challenges. He wants to use the same focus and intensity that he used to build Microsoft to now save lives and improve the world. The work of the Gates Foundation has had a huge impact. It has saved millions of lives. But just like his time at Microsoft, his philanthropy has also faced criticism. Some people say that it is not democratic for one rich man and his foundation to have so much power and influence over global health and agriculture. They decide which problems to solve and which solutions to use. This is a lot of power for someone who was not elected. Others criticize the foundation's investment policies. For a long time, the foundation invested in companies that contributed to the very problems it was trying to solve, like companies that cause a lot of pollution. The foundation has since changed some of its investment strategies. There are also critics who say that Gates promotes a technological solutionism, the idea that every problem can be solved with a new technology, which may not always be the best approach. His personal life has also been in the news. In 2021, he and Melinda announced their divorce after 27 years of marriage. There were also reports about his connection to the controversial businessman Jeffrey Epstein, which Gates has said he regrets. Bill Gates is a complex figure. He is a visionary who saw the future of computing and built a global empire. He is a ruthless competitor who was accused of crushing his rivals. He is a generous philanthropist who has given away more money than anyone in history and is trying to solve the world's most difficult problems. His life has two very different acts, the tech titan and the global health champion. His story shows us the power of focus and intelligence. It also raises important questions about wealth, power, and responsibility in our modern world. What is the role of billionaires in solving global problems? Can one person change the world? Twice? The story of Bill Gates is still being written, but one thing is clear: the nerdy kid from Seattle has left a mark on our world that will not be erased. Thank you for watching.
We hope you enjoyed this story and that it helped you practice your English. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos. See you next time.